Hello everyone, how's it going? I'm WoWcrendor, and welcome back to another Fishing with Crendor. I think this is my 8th episode now, and today I am joined by Towelliee.
What's up? What's going on?
I mean, you could be asking me or the people watching, but I'll answer, because they can't, except in the comments.
So in the comments, they're all spamming right now. Is he talking to me? Yeah!
But yeah, I'm happy just sitting down with cool people and fishing with them, so I'm glad you could join me today.
Yeah, this is some cool bromance stuff. I like this. This is nice and relaxed. It's like therapeutic after a long day.
Yeah, because I mean, whenever you think of like people going out on fishing trips and it's like the old man and the dad and the son, they're just like out relaxing. They're drinking beer and just like reminiscing on their old days. And I thought that'd be cool if you could just do that with WoW, because I mean, everybody's always like, the good old days, but nobody ever really talks about it aside from on the forums where they complain.
Right. I used to walk up and down the mountains of Azeroth back in my day.
Black Rock Mountain.
That walk back was hell.
So yeah, I was just like, you know what? We need a place where we can just vent about our fun old times.
Right. Get all nostalgic on everybody.
Yeah. So before we start, I'm sure there's people that don't know who you are, so why don't you tell everyone who you are?
I'm Towelliee. I am a streamer slash YouTuber. More of a streamer than a YouTuber. Still love YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm kissing ass to your fans. You better love us. And yeah, I stream World of Warcraft and any other MMO out there that I can tank in and slay dragons in, and I just like having fun playing MMOs. That's what I do.
Yeah. I'll put all your links below the thing anyway, and for all the lazy people.
Yeah, they won't go. It's okay.
So was WoW your first MMO?
Yes, it was. It was it was very different for me because I was a hardcore FPSer and I was just playing Counter-Strike and Team Fortress, and I didn't even know what an MMO was. Like I played,
Yeah.
I basically played like JRPGs on the PS2 and PS1, and that's as far as I went with anything like roleplay related.
Yeah.
But yeah, WoW was my first MMO.
Did you play Warcraft at all?
No, to this day I've only played like a little bit of 3. I know.
Yeah.
Everyone sacrilegious.
Well, I actually didn't play Warcraft either until like a year ago, and everyone was like, oh yeah, it was like Warcraft 3 that happened. I was like, well, I never played that. And they were like, what? And so I Let's Played it on my channel, and it took like 5 months of Let's Playing it. But I completed everything, and now I know it all.
Yeah, I still have it. I one of these days, like maybe if they remaster it or something and it looks
Yeah.
a little better, I'll probably, it's like the same thing with Diablo. They're like, people are like,
Yeah.
you've never played Diablo? I'm like, no, never played Diablo. They're like, sacrilegious.
The thing is, like, when you play it now, it's like the older game, so everybody knows everything about it. So they're like, how could you miss the coin in the top left where you hit it twice? I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, I beat the level. Isn't that good enough for you?
Yeah, right? And I beat the boss like he's dead.
Yeah. Well, you could have did it faster.
Exactly.
But
it was my first one, and it was hard, like, for me to transition to MMOs, because I was always, like, making fun of my coworkers for it, because that's where it started, was at my old job. And they were all just, hardcore WoW players, and this was, like, when WoW was, like, in that kind of, like, beta phase.
yeah.
And they were like, you gotta try it, you'll love it. I'm like, I'm not hanging out with you orc bitches, get out of here. And I would make fun of them. I would, like, get on them all day about how they just spend their lives all day playing MMOs, and I'm like, hey, what's up, orc bitches? How you doing this morning? And they're like, whatever, man.
What did you do for a living?
I used to be a QA engineer for like a pharma company for about 9 years before I started streaming.
Oh, whoa.
But that's
a long time.
Yeah, that's. I'm old, man. What do you think? I'm like 20. I'm like 34 years old. My hands shake when I tank now. It's pretty bad.
The arthritis already kicking in.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, one day, like, one of my friends said, hey, you know what? Just come over to my house. I'll let you play this beta, and you can tell me what you think. And I played in his house. I just started like a warrior, really, during the beta. And I think we were kind of restricted, I think, during the beta, pretty much. But I played, and I literally took the next 2 days off of work, and I literally slept in my friend's house. My friends didn't know where I was for 2 days, and they're like freaking out, like, dude, you okay? I'm like, yeah, dude, I'm fine. I'm just fine, okay? And then I come in the next day to like, no, like 3 days later to work, and they're like, how was it? And I'm like, oh, F you guys, man.
So did you play with them or did you take your own path?
No, I played with them. We all ended up just raiding together in 40 mans, and I ended up tanking. And I mean, even tanking alone, like I didn't even know what I was doing because for someone who's never even touched an MMO, I can remember like my first dead mines with one of my friends and like a couple of pugs. That was as we were saying back in the day when we had to like walk all the way to the dead mines barn or whatever, and then fight your way to the portal.
Yeah,
that was like an hour. And I really didn't even know what tanking was. I had to have some like mage literally walk me through what aggro was and walk me through what, like he's like, all right, pull the mobs, and I'm like, all right, and he's like, go, and I'm like, all right. He's like, no, you need to go in there. I'm like, okay. So I go in there, I just start auto attacking the mobs, and the mobs are like just wiping us, and I'm like, all right, how do we do? The guy's like, we wiped. We weren't tanking at all. I'm like, didn't you see in chat we asked, do we need a tank? And I'm like, well, I don't know, man. I'm a big guy in real life. I don't know. I think you just needed a strong dude or something. I don't know. And they took me into the guy. I felt so bad for him, but we ended up like 4 hours later. We ended up dead mines.
The intense dead mines.
Yeah, and he was like, "You have to generate aggro." I'm like, "I don't know what that is." He's like, "You have to make the mobs get aggravated at you." And I'm like, "How do I do that? Use your abilities." And I'm like, "Oh, so I'm generating aggro." They're like, "Yes, you're generating threat." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." So I just take these guys and I hit them with these abilities, and then they won't hit you guys. That's right. We stay alive. You get hit. And I'm like, all right. And that's basically like how I just started tanking. I just love the idea of it. So it's stuck for the last decade.
I'm not gonna lie. I didn't even think of aggravation as a thing with aggro until right now.
That's what he said. He's like, make them aggravated at you. I'm like, you're asking me to make some magical fantasy orc pissed off at me. I don't know what you want from me, man.
So have you always played a warrior too?
No, I played a warrior just through vanilla.
Oh.
And then I heard that blood elves and paladins and all that were gonna. Well, I had that rumor like, oh, paladins might be tanks in the next expansion. I'm like, really? And
they don't just buff people.
Yeah. And I heard about the blood elf race. So when Burning Crusade came out, I just started right from scratch. And by then, like me and my coworkers, like our 40-man guild had already disbanded. We disbanded at who was the plus and minus guy from Nax?
Thaddeus.
Yeah, we had disbanded after Thaddeus, so because that thing took forever and everyone got pissed off and we disbanded. So then when we started Burning Crusade, I just started a Blood Elf Paladin, and then since then I've just been a Paladin tank.
So you even did like old school Nax.
Yeah.
The hardcore.
Yeah.
After AQ Nax.
Yep.
So not many people got to do that.
Yeah, it kind of sucks that we can't go back there, and they kind of moved it. Where is it now? Like in Dalaran, somewhere in the skies, or?
Oh yeah, it's I think it's in Borean Tundra.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where it is, and it's I mean, it's like they made that cool raid, and then nobody got to do it, and they were like, you know what, we should probably like bring it back. So I mean, Nax is probably one of the best raids, I think.
Oh yeah, I was a little upset I didn't get to try out all the bosses. I think we had like five or six down, which I guess was pretty good for the amount of time it was open. Yeah. But it was just too time consuming. The amount of raid hours we used to put back in the day is so different than today. It's just
yeah. So I remember I was in high school when WoW like came out and stuff. So that was all I did was play WoW because I had nothing else to do. I wasn't gonna do homework. I was just like, I can play WoW.
Who needs an education?
Yeah.
Skill some notes.
I was like, I'm going to community college anyway. And so all I did was we had Onyxia raid Mondays, and I loved Onyxia. I thought that fight was just really fun. I know people are just like the whelps left side and everything, but I really liked Onyxia. And then we passed Molten Core. Blackwing Lair was, I think, one of my favorite raids. If you had to pick like an old vanilla raid, what would you say was your favorite?
In vanilla, AQ40 was amazing. I loved AQ40.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people. I never got to like fully do AQ40. I got to do like half of it, and then our guild kind of disbanded. But what did you like about that over all the other raids? Just the boss fights?
Yeah, like Molten Core and BWL were all like, all about, the Black Rock ordeal. The instances kind of looked a little alike on the inside. And then when they busted out AQ40 in the opening of the gates, I was like, wow, this instance is really cool. It's like really different. It has like that desert feel to it and like little Pharaoh, whatever the hell they're called. Not even, what are they called? Those minions when you first go in, you fight them. They're like the first.
Oh
one.
yeah, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Didn't they drop the sand skirmishers too? Was that them?
Yep.
Or I guess everything kind of dropped, but
yeah,
it was so cool to like walk in and kill it and be like, oh my god, we got a mount.
Yeah, and the bosses were like so cool. Like I just thought, like Twin Emperors is probably one of my favorite fights of all time. And Cthulhu was just had a control fight. You just have those memories of like setting up like half your raid on the left, half your raid on the right. Then it's just some dumbass just walks in front of the doorway, everyone wipes, and we're there having to do that like 20-minute run back all the way from the beginning, all the way to Cthulhu. It was just a good time, is what it was. It was frustrating, but it was like really fun. You had those bosses where you only like, what was that name of that one boss where you only like you had to have like what was it, like mages with frost stabs to hit them down to the end to kill them, or
oh, was that Bug Trio? Or was that not Bug Trio? No. I know what you're talking about, because I remember mages having to hit him with the staff. Someone will comment on it.
Yeah,
they're like, you idiots.
You idiots. These guys have no idea what they're talking about.
And here's the reason for whatever. But yeah, then did you have the same type of thing in Burning Crusade, or like did all the people you work with kind of disband, or how'd that go?
They all went to like different games. They all started playing I don't know, like Age of Conan and all these other games came out, and I just didn't like any of them because they weren't like wow. So
yeah.
I mean, this is my first MMO, and I'm like, man, I don't want to go anywhere. I was like, I gotta stick to this and dedicate myself to this and try to be good, which never worked out. But and yeah, they all just went to different games, and I just continued on Burning Crusade. I just had to go find my own guild to play with and prove myself as the paladin tank, which wasn't easy in Burning Crusade. They were, warrior tanks were still holier than thou to every guild out there. So I really didn't actually start progression tanking until like maybe Black Temple is when I was finally kind of like legit enough to go in there and do something.
Yeah. By then it's almost it is the end of the expansion, pretty much.
Yeah.
Did you play it all like at Wrath?
Yeah, I played all the way through. I think I've missed let's see. I think I missed about maybe like this recently. I missed my first tier of raiding in 10 years. It kind of got me upset. I didn't miss it. I did a few bosses with our guild, but I had some personal life stuff, had a surgery and a bunch of other things I had to take care of, and it was kind of upsetting because it's like you go through this like 10-year run of playing every expansion every day. You got like 500-600 days playing on your characters, and then it's like then it stops, and then you hate yourself.
Yeah. When did you start like streaming then? Like were you just playing and then you're like, hey, I could just stream myself playing?
Well, I started on YouTube with the TGN network guys, and I was always watching like your videos and Jesse's and Hobbs and Swifties and all. And I'm like, you know what? I can maybe do something like that. And one of my friends just said, dude, here's this program called Fraps. Just press the record button and just start talking because you seem like you have a kind of cool personality. I'm like, oh, thanks.
Seems kind of cool, I guess.
Yeah. So, I mean, I just started making these videos and of just me tanking and giving people tutorials on how to beat bosses.
Yeah.
I think it was during Cataclysm Beta. And
I think that's when a lot of people got big, actually. I know Jesse and TB and a lot of them got big in Cata Beta.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. And I was just, like, really just trying to just get kind of known. And after a while, I mean, people knew who I was just from a lot of Paladin tanking and a lot of Paladin PvP. But after a while, I mean, I heard about streaming, and I didn't even know it existed. I just went to, like, I think it was Xfire, and I just saw a bunch of people just playing World of Warcraft and playing different games. And I said I'd try it out, and it just kind of took off. I guess I just kind of like the idea of talking to people live, and I took whatever audience I kind of had from YouTube and let them know, hey, I'm gonna start streaming. Let me, come on down and watch me and just let's talk and play. And that's when streaming had just started. So I guess I was also lucky enough to get in there pretty early.
Yeah.
Compared to what it is today, there's like 1.5 million people on Twitch trying to stream. It's insane.
Yeah.
And,
I think that's one of the biggest things, getting in early. Because I know with YouTube, I started in like 2009, which I mean, I tweeted, I was like, it makes me like a caveman. I mean, there's people that started earlier than that, but.
Yeah, 2009 is like OG of anything, like,
yeah.
Especially like WoW related.
Yeah.
But from there, I just I just stuck to the streaming part, kind of did YouTube secondary, and I just decided to just put all my focus, all my hours, all my dedication into streaming. I mean, I started out like 17-hour days for like 5 or 6 months just trying to build an audience, and ended up just working out because at the time the WoW channel really wasn't populated on Justin TV with anybody.
Oh, that's right. It was Justin TV before Twitch. Oh my god. So yeah, so that was Cataclysm then.
Yeah.
So you were one of the people, I know a lot of people, they played like Wrath of the Lich King and then they felt like, oh, I'm done with the game now because I killed the Lich King, but I guess since you didn't play Warcraft, you didn't have that feeling.
No, and that's why Wrath was like one of my favorite expansions, because the Lich King story was like out of control. I'm just like, this is awesome. And then when you went through the 5-man before you know, at the beginning of the expansion, what was that called? You know, the one where you have to go, the Caverns of Time one.
Oh yeah, the Calling of Arthas, or Calling of Stratholme.
Yeah, that. Man, that dungeon did it for me, man. Once I was looking at the story of everything that's going on in there, it was craziness. But yeah, I mean, the Lich King story was awesome. I'm pretty sure if I would have known about Warcraft, I probably would have been like, oh, I know this story.
Yeah, that's how I was too, because I was like, oh man, this is awesome. And then it's weird because like I went and played Warcraft 3 last year, and I was just like, oh my god, it's the Calling of Stratholme. Like I'm playing through it, but I was like, oh wait, this is what it's based off, because it's like you kind of just you relate it to playing at the MMO before the RTS. I don't know. It's weird because it's like some people have it the other way, and it's I don't know.
You're like, you should have done this first instead of that. No, I'm okay.
Yeah, like it's still fun. I still enjoy it. So you'd probably be a good person to ask then, because there's the people that they've played WoW just like maybe from vanilla to like Wrath, or like they played vanilla in BC, or they played up to like Cataclysm, or like a lot of people quit and then they're like, the game's not as good now. But like, as someone who's played through everything, what do you think, like, how the game's changed, and like, do you think it's still what it was, or like as good as it was, or just what's your opinion on that?
It's so tough to answer. I mean, for me, it's been the same every year, because it's like, just, you know, it's every new expansion comes new lore, new raids, new dungeons, new bosses, new enemies, you level. And I've always told people, you know, all MMOs kind of will always follow the same formula. You see so many people saying to themselves, oh, I can't wait for the next great MMO to come out. And then when the new one finally tries to come out, they're like, oh, this is going to be amazing. It's going to be way better than WoW. And then when you play it, it's like, oh, it's just like WoW, but with a different story. Okay, I'm going to go back to WoW now. But, I mean, the game definitely, I think Blizzard did a great job over the last 10 years, and no one gives them enough credit for it, is to kind of expand the game to a point where, like, anyone can play it. Like, any age, you know, old, young. You know, I've seen like videos of like 3 or 4 year olds like leveling. You know, like,
Yeah.
You could probably put like a dog on there. He'd probably figure it out eventually. I don't know, but I mean, the game in terms of changing, I mean, loot is definitely easier to get than back in the day. There's a few things I would always want to change about WoW, like something like the legendaries. I'm kind of mad about how the legendaries panned out in the past couple of years.
Yeah.
Don't want to sound like an elitist, but it's like, oh, why does everyone have to get one? Why does everyone have to get a ring and a cloak? It used to be so cool when you used to be like that one dude on your server with like Thunder Fury or Valadnir. You used to stand in the middle of, you know, Shad, or it used to be all badass people spamming you whispers like, yo, man, where'd you get that sword? You know, that really doesn't happen anymore. Everyone just has a legendary now, you know.
Well, it's like, I even remember that back in even Molten Core. I'd see a guy in like Molten Core gear back when that was the only raid, and I'd be like, oh my god, that guy has like raid gear. That's insane. You know, just like that epic gear feeling where now like everybody has epic, so it's like, well, you know, it's not epic anymore if everybody got the epic. It's that thing.
But I mean, the game's definitely become pretty casual over the years compared to, I mean, probably Wrath. Everything after Wrath just was just adhering to everyone and taking everyone's suggestions, and they did a really good job. I mean, you know, they could adhere to the casuals and still give like us hardcore raiders like a really good raid with difficult content. You know, like I know our guild, we did like 500 attempts on Heroic Rag during Firelands, and that was absurd. And there's just so much has changed over the years, but the main constant that I've always figured out is that they've always just kept it consistent.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
And we know that the internet's changed over the years, so people's opinions, and every year it gets more crazier and crazier. You know, I blame that Reddit, of course.
Even I know back in the day, like vanilla and all that, there wasn't any data mining or anything like that. You had Thoughtbot, and that's about it.
Yeah, Thoughtbot asking in general chat, hey man, where do I find this? Why don't you just Thoughtbot it, dumbass? I'm like, okay, what? I don't even know what that is. What do you Thoughtbot?
I think that's why a lot of people liked vanilla too, is because it had that sense of mystery to everything. You know, nobody really knew everything. Like now, it's just everybody just data mines. Like I know every last line of code that's been added to this patch, and it's like, well, it takes away some of the fun of it.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to next, was talking about like how the element of surprise is gone, and that's probably the only thing that I've hated in the last decade of playing is progressively every year we get to see more and more of the stuff that I don't think we ever should, you know?
Yeah.
So, like when it comes to, you know, like world first rating, you always have the race between like Method and Paragon and Midwinter, Blood Legion, whatever. And it's like, is it really a race? They got to test all the boxes on Mythic and Heroic mode. At this point, they're like seasoned veterans at this new instance that's never come out. It hasn't even come out yet, excuse me.
Yeah.
And it's like when the race starts, it's basically who learned to fight quicker in those 2 hours on the beta or on the PTR. That's who really gets world first. And it's just like that, you know, and you got the journal too, kind of showing us every little ability, and it was kind of fun, just like going into like BWL back in the day or AQ40 and just being like, all right, let's start seeing what this guy does, because Blizzard hasn't told us jack. You know?
Yeah.
And you sit there wiping for like 10 hours straight to the first boss, just trying to figure out every little thing they do, every debuff, everything.
Yeah, it's definitely like the sense of mystery and all that. Because I mean, now the game's been polished so much so that, you know, it's like it's still fun, and I think people do miss that you know, like I want to go explore and like find something nobody's found before, and or you know, go to the raid and see something that nobody's done before. It's just a lot of people want that, but it's like the game's been improved in that aspect of polishing too, so it's not like it's a terrible thing or anything.
Yeah, I mean, you go to MMO Champion, it's like, hey, we got all the cinematics for you for the ending of the game before you win there.
Yeah.
Have fun. Like, what do you do when you're a brand new player and you just saw like the Archimon ending and you're like, oh well, now I know what happens, I guess.
Yeah.
It does suck, but I mean, besides that, they've kept it consistent, and they've, you know, grown to, you know, a game where anyone in the whole world can play it, and there's not many MMOs that can say that. But definitely that element of surprise and, you know, ooh, wow, shiny new items. It's like, now it's like, all right, like our guild is like, well, all right, we need to know from all the tanks what gear you want ahead of time for the next tier. I'm like, really? We got to start filling out spreadsheets.
Yeah.
Like,
becoming EVE Online.
yeah, exactly. Eve, why?
I used to like playing EVE actually, and then I realized that all I really enjoyed about the game was the music. And so now I just listen to the music sometimes.
Yeah, my first time I played EVE, I think for a total of half an hour. It was when it first came out too, because my friends at work were going nuts over it. I launched my little ship. I went out. I got into a fight with a bigger ship. He blew mine up. I couldn't get another ship because I guess it was the beginning of the game, and then they have that thing where you just get a brand new ship after you die.
Yeah.
So I had no ship, so I quit. I installed it, and I was like, "That's my EVE career."
What a career! And that's what makes WoW like so good. Like a lot of people are like, oh, WoW's dying, WoW, but it's like there's so many games that would take 7 million players, like, and be like, oh my god, we have 7 million players. Like people talk about like, oh yeah, EVE Online's like a big game. It's going, but it has like 500,000 to like 1 million players, like in that range, and like it's been going on for a long time. So it's like 7 million. Is insane, but it's like you're comparing it to the peak of WoW, which I think was like 12 million. But it's like, I don't think WoW's ever gonna hit that again, but I don't think it really needs to hit that again.
Unless they do something crazy like Sargeras raid or something. And then, like,
yeah.
Every lore head and their mother comes back like, we must fight the demon or the Titan demon himself.
What I was hoping they would do is like do Warcraft 4, and then they would like make new lore in Warcraft 4, so like it'd be a new RTS game with new lore in it, and people would be like, whoa, and they'd be like, yeah, and you're gonna see those Warcraft or the Warcraft 4 raids, like, or the, you know what I'm saying, like they'd do raids based on that new lore they created in the new Warcraft RTS game. Yeah, that's what I thought they'd do.
That'd be great. I'm always telling people they so far like they've hit every single like genre of game, but they haven't done like an RPG yet. I'm hoping one of these years like Blizzard does like a World of Warcraft like role playing game, like a Skyrim
Oh
Witcher
yeah,
3 style game.
that would be really cool.
Wouldn't it? I'm like, how are they not doing that? Work on it, Blizzard.
Yeah, unless they are.
Because I know they watch your videos. They definitely don't watch my live stream.
I don't know. When I was at the Blizzard headquarters that one time, they have like that big room that like tracks everything. I don't know if you've like been to Blizzard.
Oh yeah, yeah. The one room, the one that tells you like how many people are playing or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been there.
I guarantee they've seen like anyone who's done anything.
Yeah, probably. They're
It's like
always
NASA.
watching.
You look in that room. Though I remember I was like, "Can I take a picture?" They're like, "No." I was like, "Can I take a picture of the no picture sign?" And they were like, "Sure." So that's the one picture I got.
Yeah.
I remember they had like some secret room and it was like project blah 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 on it, and it was like a janitor closet, but they just named it that, or like I guess it got replaced, and Jesse was like, "Oh shit, can I tweet that and be like, look at Blizzard's secret thing?" And they were like, "No."
Nope, can't do that. They're really crazy at Blizzard about just the WoW department in general. They're like always on lockdown. If you try to walk by their offices, there's like they start covering their whiteboards with like blankets and shit. I'm like, what are you guys doing? God, I signed the paperwork because they make you sign your life away when you go in to begin with. So
yeah, that's just like to get in to like the front.
Yeah, can't
It's
go
pretty-
past this point without signing your life.
It is intense. Cause they're like, let's go on the tour, and we're like, can we see like the new stuff? They're like, we can show you the cafeteria and the library. And we're like, what about the games? They're like, no.
No, can't play
We
the games.
could, but we'd have to kill you.
Yeah, we'd have to take you hostage, make you a beta tester.
I mean, a lot of people would be like, all right, sign me up. But I don't know, Blizzard. Well, what are some of your like favorite WoW moments you've had? Or, like the things that give you nostalgia just at any point during playing?
Definitely, definitely some end boss kills. Lich King first heroic kill was out of control. It was one of those like complete and utter nerd scream moments. It was my first like real nerd scream moment.
Yeah.
The kind where you wake up the neighbors, dogs are barking, howling. Heroic Rag in Firelands was definitely another because it was like 500 attempts.
Oh,
on
yeah.
that, and that thing took us like a couple of months. Meeting my first like in-game friend I thought was always memorable. Like when I was leveling by Red Ridge as a warrior when I first started playing WoW.
Mm-hmm.
Like this level 58, I guess he got almost to max level quicker than like anyone in the game. So he was just walking around Red Ridge. He's like, "Hey, bro, you need some help?" And I'm like, sure." And then, and I can remember it was a human paladin. His name was Midget Masher. And
not even gnome basher, just
just all straight up, just racist about it. His name was just Midget Masher, and he literally like helped me with anything that I wanted, from like level 21 to I was like 58. You know,
Oh, wow.
and because me and my friends, we all had different like work schedules, so I was always a night shift, so I was always playing in the mornings while they were playing at night. And yeah, like this guy, he was like my real first in-game friend. That's when I first realized, I'm like, man, you can actually meet people in these MMOs and becomes friend with them. And you know, I mean, I'm not talking about like we exchange numbers or anything. You know,
just
that
like
didn't
an
come.
actual friend.
Yeah, that didn't come to a cataclysm. And
Yeah.
but yeah, like meeting my first friend in WoW was pretty memorable for me because the guy just literally just carried me almost all the way to 60. And then I lost touch with him after like Wrath. I think he just quit or he left. He got bored of it. But that was pretty memorable for me. Getting my legendary was pretty awesome for Thunder Fury. That was pretty epic.
No, you got Thunder Fury.
Yeah, and
Was
let's
that
see,
in vanilla? You got
it was toward the end.
Oh.
Yeah, it was toward the end. Then I ended up getting it again on a second character. Actually, I got it first on my warrior, then I got it on my paladin. But that was like a couple of years ago while I was streaming.
Oh.
Yeah, but the first time on the warrior was definitely like very memorable. Let's see, what else can I remember? That's pretty much about like the top 3, I'd say,
Yeah.
for me. I know, not too exciting, but you know, it's like you have so many great moments in WoW. Like I can go to like my first moment in Molten Core where, you know, back in the day when like your cameras were like zoomed in all the way because you didn't really know how to properly zoom out. and like these two big molten giants looked like they were like, you know, the size of the biggest titans in the world.
Yeah.
And you try to go in there with your .5 tier gear, Valor, as a tank, and then you get smashed in like one hit, and then the raid's like, all right, well, back to gearing up again, you know?
Yeah.
We literally went into molten core, and our tanks, me and the other tanks, we couldn't tank anything. And then our raid leader was just like, all right, I guess we need to get you more gear. Let's go through Ubers another million times, you know? And yeah, Karazhan, the chess event. I don't know why I love the chess event. That was
the chess event was really fun.
That was like one of my most memorable moments. I was like, I'm playing chess in WoW, and I get to take control of these NPCs. This is amazing.
It's such a different fight compared to all the other fights.
Yeah, and to this day, I don't even think there's been anything close to that.
Yeah, I don't think so.
No,
it'd be funny if they did like a kind of a like spin-off of it, like a checkers event or something.
Checkers, Parcheesi or Sorry or something.
Yeah, I'd love that. Maybe for like an April Fool's thing.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool. That would be really rad. But yeah, I mean, just 10 years of memorable moments. Those are probably my top ones. And yeah, I've had a good time. It's been a good run. I think I'm heading toward the last one of my years. I don't know. They got to really bring it the next couple of expansions.
Yeah. Well, like with Draenor, I feel like I really enjoyed it for about a month or two, and then I just kind of like, I don't know. Like, have you not been enjoying Draenor that much, or have you like been content with it?
I've been all right. I mean, like I said, for me, mythic rating and progression rating is what I really strive for in WoW, so that's always exciting to me. But yeah, I think everything else outside of that, man, it's just been nothing.
Yeah.
There's been nothing. Like, and the crazy part is that Draenor has like so much content, but it's content that I guess I've already done a lot of in the last decade.
Yeah.
So the only thing that really changes for me is like new raids with new bosses and new lore.
Yeah.
You know? And I mean, hell, the most exciting thing I've seen from Blizzard recently is them, you know, reinstating flying, but having you to do like an attunement to get it.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool.
I thought it was amazing. People are flipping out. They're like, why do we have to do all this stuff? I'm like, that's awesome. They're like, making explore finally. You get to leave your garrison and do something. You should be praising them, guys.
You're never going to make them happy. It's like, I want flying. Like, all right, here it is. Just got to do some stuff. Like, I don't want to do that.
I don't want to. I work a bazillion hours a week. I don't have time to do lore master. Those are for lore nerds.
That's like part of the problem, and part of it's like everybody wants everything, but they don't want to work for it. But then when they get that, like, hey, all right, we'll give you flying, then they're like, I'm bored of it. It's like, all right, well, you know, some things you got to work for, and that's part of the fun.
Yeah, but I mean, the expansion has been great in terms of raids, but I mean, I don't know if it was the garrison, because at first I loved the garrison. I think I was doing my garrison stuff on like 4 different characters.
Yeah, I did too.
After all, I was like, all right, I'm maxed out on resources. Got all my characters. Like, I don't know what else I gotta do in here. I'm like, I guess I'll go mine on a 5th character now or something. And then it's what people said, like, after a while, I just found myself like always in my garrison, never out. Because I used to just go out and kill rares, and I used to do like all these cool little like old school runs with my viewers. And I'm like, nope, I'm just gonna stick in my garrison. Hopefully this salvage yard gives me an epic one of these days, and
yeah,
see what happens.
It's like so many people are like, it's like a Facebook game, and at first I was like, it's not like a Facebook game. And I was like, well, a little bit.
Yeah, but I'm hoping, like I said, they bring it with the next expansion, maybe change some things. And, you know, like I said, you really can't change too much when it comes to an MMO, especially after you've already been out there for 10 years.
Yeah.
I mean, they're thinking of everything now. They got time walking dungeons, bringing us back to, like, BC this past weekend. They turned dungeons into like mythic dungeons. It's like, I'm saying to myself, man, I hope they don't run out of ideas, you know?
Yeah.
Like some poor guy's like losing his hair in some office, like, oh man, what are we gonna do next? We're running out. Oh no.
I thought like the biggest problem they had with the garrisons was like it kept you there. So like even professions, it like kind of crushed the gathering professions, because you're like, oh, you sit here and you get free resources like right here. You don't have to go anywhere. And it's like, oh, all right. It's like, you don't even have to have mining. We're just gonna give you minerals.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like, I don't even have herbalism. I can do it all. I can get the same mats and give it to my ult, and he can make me potions and stuff. And that's the crazy part, is like, it used to be really cool, kind of just flying around, going from node to node, and even like fighting with the opposite, faction
Yeah.
for like nodes. It's pretty fun. Or just like
Mhm.
that cool, like that cool feeling, that smirk you get on your face when some guy goes in at the same time you do, and
Yep.
then you just like you just like get it before he does, and then he just in sage chat, he's like "F you," this and then he goes berserk on you. I love that.
Yep. I used to be a druid, so I had bird form, so I could gather super fast in bird form. And I would always do that, just fly down and gather, and they're just like, oh my god.
That's mean. What I used to do
Yeah.
is I used to invite alliance to my group while I was mining, and they'd be like, "Oh, hey, man." I'm like, "Hey, what's going on?" Then we would go down for a node. I'd bop them and get the node, and then just like, and then just fly away. Some guy in your comments is gonna be like, "You're that a-hole."
I remember you
I remember you.
in the mountain.
Yeah, they did mess up with that. I mean, I didn't expect that I would be able to collect any mat that I needed from any profession within my garrison, and that just kind of, and they can deny it all they want, like, but they really did take away from world exploration. I think that's what they're trying to fix with this attunement, is making you go out there and do all the quests and explore every little inch of Draenor so that you can do your flying.
Yeah, I think they admitted it too. They had like that
Okay.
live stream recently, and they were like, "Yeah, that was a bad idea."
Yeah, we missed.
But I think one of my favorite things about this expansion was the fact that they added the treasures everywhere. Like, I really liked that, like, just running around and gathering treasures, because it's like you explore, and you don't have to do it, but you can do it, and it kind of rewards you for exploring. And I thought it'd be cool if they did that for the old worlds as well. Maybe not, like, as many treasures, but just, like, a few throughout the zone, where it's like, whoa, I can go back to Silithus and find, like a random AQ40 drop, but it's kind of buffed up now, and just get you going back to that old content, so it's not wasted.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Start putting it by like the old school world dragon, so people are just like, "Whoa, what's this dragon doing here?" And it's like,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I mean that would be a great idea.
Or like where we are right now. Like, what if there's a little treasure behind us, and you opened it and it had like a cool fishing pole? It's kind of like a nostalgic thing, and it got you to come back here.
Yeah, that'd be amazing because it'd be better than this level 1 piece of crap I have on me right now.
It would. Yeah, come on, Blizzard, listen to us.
We know
Don't
what we're
hire
talking
us.
about.
I don't want to, like,
no.
make the things. I just want to tell you what to do.
Exactly. You want to be like everyone else, do it right now, or else we anger at you.
I'll write an angry forum post. But yeah, I think that's about it. I thought that was a fun discussion.
Absolutely. This has been fun. I would love more of this fishing bromance. As a matter of fact, whoever you come in next, invite me. I just won't say anything. I'll just sit next to you guys right here, just fish.
You're just like the awkward third wheel.
The awkward guy, like, is that just Towelliee just standing there next to you guys and say chat used to hear, "Nope, don't mind
Never
me." Folks.
left. He never left.
Never left. He just kept going.
You want to plug yourself one more time?
Yeah,
Plugs are
sure.
fun.
You guys can find me on twitch.tv/Towelliee. Other people call themselves variety streamers. I call myself an MMO variety streamer with a WoW focus. I like to be unique. But, my YouTube is youtube.com/Towelliee. Lately, it's just been more video logs, and I'm trying to work hard to, be like these guys here with their awesome YouTube videos and all their amazing editing skills that I have none of.
Oh, I don't either. I really badly edit, and people think that's my style now.
It's like it's known as cool.
Yeah, like it's been so bad for so long, they're just kind of like, that's your style. I'm like, all right.
If you ever improve yourself, we're going to hate you forever.
Yeah.
But that's where you can find me. I stream about 12, 13 hours a day, which is pretty insane, but I love doing it. So it's my passion, and if you guys want to come out and check me out and say hello, you can. And just say, "Hey, weren't you that dumbass that was talking to the Crendor out there by the water?" I'm like, "That's me." Yeah.
Stole my herbs.
Stole my herbs and bought me. Son of a bitch.
Good.
But thank you for having me, man. It's been really fun.
Yeah, it was fun. I don't know how to really end these things ever, so see you later.
Later.
Bye.
And just hit the stop button.